I'm Kelsey, creator of the Savvy Swaréy, a blog designed for DIY and budget-savvy event and wedding planning enthusiasts. So as you're thinking about your fall tablescapes, whether it's part of an event you're planning this season, or maybe it's in a wedding you're hosting that's fall themed, this is a super easy DIY project that you can use to enhance your tablescapes. So first, I'm actually just gonna go through all the supplies I'm gonna use today. I'll drop all the links to everything I'm using below so that if you'd like to purchase the same items, you can, but there's a lot of options within here, so feel free to make this your own. Okay, first I've got a dollar store candle. These come in a variety of colors depending on the season you're shopping. You may find these in green and red, so keep that in mind for winter as well, for the Christmas season. Next, I've got 2 cleaned Oui Yogurt Jar containers. You can obviously use any container you have handy, or if you have old containers that maybe you're repurposing from used candles, all of that will work. I use these because they're cute and they're kind of fun shapes. So that's what I'll be using today. Next, I've got 2 6-inch wicks. So if you buy a pack on Amazon, they come in 4-inch, 6-inch, or bigger. You can use either the 4 or 6-inch if you're using similar sized jars as I am. Those also come with little backers, so this is to adhere them to your jars. Next, I've got some centering devices. This is to keep your wick centered as the wax cools, but you can also use clothespins or even wrapping the wicks around pencils. Next, I'm using fragrance just to add a little fall scent to my candles, but totally optional. If you don't have scents already handy, then you can totally omit that. Next, I just got a kitchen thermometer. So this can be used just to make sure that your wax is up to temp and ready to pour. Especially if you're adding fragrance, I definitely recommend this. But if you're not, no need. Next, I just got a wooden dowel to stir the wax. You can use anything you have in your kitchen. I just like to kind of throw this away after. And then I also have some tongs. So we'll use this to handle the wicks out of the dollar store candle we're melting down. And last but not least, I have a big stock pot. I'll be using this to boil the water and melt the wax. And then I've got a trivet just to handle any hot items. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so now we're gonna take our candle, put that in the stock pot, and turn on our burner. So while that's going, we're actually gonna switch gears and prep our containers. That's gonna take a little bit, so we'll just keep an eye on that. So we have our 2 Oui jars. One of those candles should fill both of these. You may have some excess, so if you wanna batch this out and do more than 2, totally cool. We're just gonna focus on our 2 little jars here for today. So grab your jars, and then we're also gonna grab our 2 wicks, and we're also gonna grab our stickies to secure those to the container. So I'm going to actually peel those back. I'll stick them to the bottom of my wicks. Peel the backer off, which are always so fun to do. There we go. And then you're gonna wanna really center this in the middle of your jar. So kind of right where this dot is here, if you can see that. I'm gonna press down firmly in the center there. Make sure it's secured down. And then I'm gonna take one of my center devices, or if you're using a clothespin or a pencil, that's what you'll grab now, and just make sure it's centered. So you want that wick to be right going up to the top of that device. I'm gonna prep my second one. So get this going. Same deal, just get the backer off. Once that's off, we'll find the center of our jar. Again, aim for that middle there. Press down firmly, and then get your centering device. And we'll put that right on top there. Super easy, we'll just let those sit while our wax melts. Okay, so our candle's been melting down for quite some time now. So I'm just gonna do a check on the temperature first, just to make sure we're good. We're looking for 185 if you're adding fragrance. If you're not, 140 or 150 is okay. So we'll just check this real quick. And yep, looks like it is up to temp, so we'll take that out. Make sure you've got your trivet in place to protect your countertops when you take out your candle. So we'll put that right here. I'm gonna take these off. And we're gonna wanna remove, before we pour or stir our fragrance in, the old wick from this candle. So I'm just gonna take these little chopsticks here to get that out. Okay, we got it out. We'll just discard that. All right, now we're ready to stir in our fragrance if you are. So I have my little apple cider fragrance here. This is 10 milliliters, which is about 1/3 of an ounce. One of these is enough to fill one of these containers, so that can be your guide. So we'll pour that whole thing in. Actually, we gotta take the stopper out first. There we go. We'll pour that in. Make sure you get every last drop. You wanna make sure you're letting your wax cool after you've added the fragrance to 140. Otherwise, when you go to pour, you'll get air bubbles in your candle, which you don't want. So we're gonna actually let that sit. I'll probably check back in about 10 minutes or so to see what my temperature is. Okay, so now I'm gonna check the temperature again to make sure we're down to 140 before we pour our candles. And we are in a good spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour. All right. It's a little hot, so I'm gonna grab the glove again. All right. Just make sure your containers still look good. I'm actually gonna bring these onto the trivet as well, just because this wax is pretty hot still and you don't wanna ruin your counter. So I'm going to put them both on this little trivet and then pour as slowly as you can. We're gonna pour until it gets about a 1/2 inch up before the edge of the container. You just wanna leave that a little bit of room for when you go to light the candle, it'll pool nicely. All right, now for candle 2, same thing. All right. Okay, we got all of our wax out of there. Started cooling a little bit. You can see that's already kind of cooling in the jar there, but we are gonna let these both sit for several hours. I usually recommend overnight just to make sure they're completely dry. And we'll let that sit before we trim the wicks at all. So we've let our candles cool. Now the final step is just to trim our wicks. So we will take our centering devices off, just set them aside, grab some scissors, hopefully everyone has some lying around, and we're just gonna trim our wick. Just trim it towards the top of the container, like that, and like that. And now we're ready to burn. All right guys, that's all I have for you today. If you liked this video and you want to see more, give it a thumbs up, and then be sure to subscribe to my channel. There'll be plenty more where this came from. There's also a ton of great resources for DIY and budget savvy professionals on the blog. Thank you.